It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. She off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over Naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo.
Hello Nigerians. God has once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria, who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is reliable and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God willing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Fellow Nigerians.
Hello there. Sorry, I was reading something. Yeah. Good evening to you, good morning to you, and good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me. I miss you too. I really miss you for the past 48 hours. Well, I was off the last night, but I'm back, refreshed, and I want you, right, to share the broadcast. We're going to start in a minute.
Godfatherism, kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ ṣe o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ dódódódó.
The Nigeria situation right now can best be described like this.
What are we do today? Today, I will live up my voice in space. Oh, yeah, what I know, you are always there for me. Yeah. Oh, my God, you are my only Lord. Forever when they say,
Thank you so much.
And yes, right.
Today, Sunday, is meant to be our Sunday sermon. Just believe that this broadcast is going to be as blunt as it should be on a Sunday. Please share the broadcast.
Yes,
And I'm so sorry if you feel left out. It's just for us to say that we are happy to see another Sunday, because by this time next week Sunday, it is going to be a new story, a different story. So I didn't leave you out, my dear brothers and sisters who are, should I put it as the Islamic brothers. Let's start with you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult you.
Alhamdulillah. 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 Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, Nigeria is a joke, and the jokers are going to be those who are promising you a better one than the one they have offered or given to you right now. But if you are taking your time to read the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well. At this point, yeah, we can start. The rider for this broadcast is that is Nigeria going to have a cashless elections? Scratch that. That is another buzzword that is now showing up in the lexicon of the Nigerian politicians. Cashless election. Turning the bricks or the stones to what? To house or something, I don't know. But you know that is not true. We'll get to that part. People woke up today, or they went to bed there last night, woke up this morning, and then they started seeing soldiers everywhere. Even though some said, no, it's normal routine military work, military this and that. Okay, fine, yo. But there is something I want to tell you. Today, Sunday, the 19th of February 2023. Sorry if you are watching the replay, okay? It is still going to be as good as live. Don't worry. Today marks it 6 days before you will know if Nigeria is going to conduct elections. If that election is going to be peaceful. If that election is going to be free and fair, or flee and fear. Some said fee and fear. The two things they are offering. So we'll break that down. New Naira notes, old Naira notes is a policy that the politicians in Nigeria, especially the APC, Egbe, feels like is targeted at them and is a clog, a spanner thrown into their wheel. Is primarily targeted at them. But they haven't really been able to be bold enough and challenge the person who approved the policy, who happened to be the leader of their party. A lot of you are currently living in that confusion. For those of you who have lived this far, of course, I sympathize with you. They're going to play you. And they seems to already been doing it. But wait. Whatever you make up your mind on, I am just here to help you take responsibility for anything you do. Do you get that? So they are already trying to manipulate the situation they created purposely to tackle themselves. Right? So they are already in court. And the only thing they are demanding from the Supreme Court is that the Supreme Court should overrule Buhari. Right? Why Buhari flagrantly, publicly, is overruling the Supreme Court? Because it's obvious that the whole thing is all jankara. None of them have the interest of yours. There are positive sides. There are negative sides. But the politicians are screaming more because the money they claim, they allegedly stashed away are in higher denominations. Right. So the criminals who made policy, the criminals who are crying over the policy, right? They have 6 days to bring Nigeria to our knees. But there is something you should remember. This is just a tiny bit of the real problems that is about to consume APC, Ebekebe, as well as Nigeria generally. And please remember, before the issue of money policy or no money policy and all of that stuff, change of Naira, recoloring, before all of that gets to the head, there has been allegation of internal sabotage to ensure that Tinubu does not become the president of Nigeria. That is within. Part of the allegation is that Buhari has vowed not to let Tinubu use the regular traditional incumbency factor. That is the ruling party. No matter how bad they are, they still what? They will still have the election to lose because they have all the resources. Nigeria factor, religion, tribe, money, intimidation, violence, corruption within the electoral system, rigging, outright rigging. All of this then cemented and legalized by the judiciary. That's the tradition. By this time, February 2019, when Buhari was running for second term, Pastor Ruga was everywhere sharing money. And they had a name for it. Trader money, market money. The police, the soldiers, the army, all of them, they were on standby to ensure that every area where they were going to carry out their rigging state by state, they were manly protected for the riggers. All these are the traditional things. Naturally, immediately Tinubu became the candidate of the party, he is expected to inherit all the resources naturally. Like everybody should have fallen in line. But rather than fall in line, they fell apart. But they were hiding it, pretending about it. Buhari failed to appear in their campaigns for many times, except whenever they raised the dust. Somehow, then they will drag him out. He will show up. He won't say anything. Tinubu will appear everywhere and he will be lambasting the same government in power. All of this were being denied in the public domain. But within, it was eating them deep and deep and deep. They wish Buhari could just take a stand and not be playing chess with them until he got to this stage. Supreme Court, order, counter order. And I want to remind you that the situation has gotten to a stage that a governor, APC governor, committed a felony, treasonable felony, right there, and it's been 72 hours now, and there's been no consequences yet. That is to tell you, the Buhari that they have used all means, according to El Rufaya, to persuade him this is not ideal, has ignored every advice until it got to this stage. But remember this, according to El Rufaya, money, vote buying, corruption, this changing of money, and the rest of that, they are actually not the cocoa of what is hitting them inside the Tinubu's camp. I'll tell you this, free of charge. You don't have to agree. Buhari is considered to be a very dumb person, to the point that you could easily sit down and think confidently that you can predict him. And he has fooled many people many times, again and again, and he is doing it right now. One of the allegations of El Rufaya against Buhari is that the people around Buhari, which we know, they are the CPC members of the APC. They are pulling all of these strings with the approval of Buhari. And all these strings is to what? To ensure that when everything goes down, the power will remain in northern Nigeria. And that would only happen if they help amplify the division in southern Nigeria, or should I say, amplify the already divided southern Nigeria. And it seems to be working. And I'll tell you, the house is divided within itself. Buhari is not letting them have access to unlimited funds like they used to do during elections. But they don't even care. They have their money. Then Buhari, in his dumbest wisdom, ignored 200 million of you and focus straight on the less than 10,000 or 100,000 of these rogues and their family members who have stockpiled money to buy election, right? And he just fired this policy. Throw them into the disarray. And while it seems in disarray, as they claim that it is an attempt to make you hate them, as if to say you are supposed to love them after all that has happened, right? So that Buhari did this for you to hate them. He did this to hurt his own party. But he was also accused by El Rufaya's broadcast that Buhari, because he wanted to deal with his own party members, decided to sabotage Nigeria economy, closed your banks, devalue or made your money illegal. So to make things work, these APC governors, they are now coming together to rescue democracy in a way from the hands of Buhari, their supposed leader. Now, they accuse Buhari of treason, because that is treasonable too. Economic terrorism. A lot of you are going through hell. A lot of people have died now simply because they couldn't access their money. A lot of people who have this money, the confusion of who will take it. Is it legal? Is it illegal? And the rest of that has divided the country already. Are you following? The dumb Buhari is playing the rest of the smartest Nigerians. But what am I saying? I'll tell you. When El Rufai committed that crime, he was probably doing or playing a part in something that can call a grand, bigger scheme. Because you know what happened afterward? Like magic. All the APC governors, some of the PDP are joining them too. All the APC governors therefore declared their own order that they were going to close down all banks in their state that fails to collect the old notes against the order of their own president. And they are putting their arguments on the interim order of the Supreme Court to further confuse you. Within this space, their only request from the Supreme Court is that it should let the old note and the new note exist. The only reason why Buhari doesn't want them to coexist is because he said they want to use them to buy your votes, to make your vote cashless votes or cashless election. Like a Mayfield is a cashless economy. They withdrew nearly 3 trillion naira cash, and they pumped back in 700 billion naira. The people that knows that without the structure, they are talking about the structure of the military, structure of the police, structure of the INEC, and all those structures of thuggery and violence that should normally get legitimized if they have the backing of the federal government. They couldn't come out and protest about that. El Rufai could not come out and tell you that they are actually using this Naira scarcity. Do you know that they are not really paying it? They are not really talking much about fuel scarcity. Have you paid attention to that? It's about Naira, even though the Naira scarcity you are talking about does not affect any of them. They have the old ones. They have the new ones. They are stockpiled in government houses across Nigeria. Yes, today in Ogun State, their governor opened his own vault after giving the commercial banks in the state ultimatum that if they refuse to collect that money, he's going to revoke all their CFO, certificate of occupancies, where they built all their offices. Therefore, it will take over all their properties across Ogun State. The same thing is being cooked up in Lagos State as we speak. It's already declared in Kaduna. Same thing is happening in Kano, as well as Zamfara, Nassarawa. All these places are already making all this declaration. They are declaring a counter order against their own president. You know what he did? He opened his vault today, and they enveloped
10,000 naira old notes, 1,000 naira notes. Inside government printed a government branded envelope, right? And they started distributing them to the members of the APC. Now, they are telling their people, the states in Nigeria don't print money. They have nothing to do with monetary policy, right? Buhari has destroyed all institutions in Nigeria. They watch him do that in 7.5 years. Part of the destroyed and ruined institution is the Central Bank of Nigeria, the judiciary, right? But this particular one could be, this one affects you. Let me re-break it for you. Let me re-break it down for you. If El Rufaya and Tinubu and the rest of them, if they want to be honest with you, they will right now be doing broadcasts that Buhari is sabotaging them by not giving them green light, that they will be able to use the military, they will be able to use the police, they will be able to use all the security agents, they will be able to use all the institutions ready for Tinubu. So if they come out to say that to you, you're not going to listen to them, are you? No. That is why when Emefiele said they were changing money in October, they did not say a word. In fact, there is a guy called Senator Obasani. That Senator Obasani is from Kaduna. He's a senator representing a part of Kaduna in the National Assembly. This Senator Obasani is the close ally of El Rufaya of Kaduna. El Rufaya of Kaduna is considered as somebody who is allowed to peep through the windows of Buhari's kitchen whenever the kitchen cabinet of Buhari are plotting, or the kitchen cabal. They open the window. El Rufaya could peep through. Now, who is Obasani? Obasani is the governorship candidate of APC in Kaduna right now. Obasani is the senator that moved the motion for the change of Nigeria Naira to what Emefiele later shown to you as the recolored Naira of Nigeria. It was El Rufaya's person, who is a governorship candidate right now in Kaduna, that moved the motion legally at the National Assembly. The Senate passed it, gave the approval to Bokohari, to Emefiele. They didn't say anything about all those things until the end of January, when they felt like the people, all of you are already confused, worried. In fact, you were believing Buhari when he said that the purpose of the policy was to ensure that the kidnappers who have collected ransoms in billions of naira, the money, they will not be able to change the money. Politicians who have stockpiled your money too, they won't be able to change. So all of you are beginning to side with them. And they came up with that line: this policy is targeted at us. Baba, just few days before the end of the deadline. Oh, the money is scarce. Remember, the politicians in Nigeria are also the owners of the banks in Nigeria. 80% of your banks are owned by your politicians. Proxy owners, all the owners you are seeing there, majority of them are actually they are holding place for politicians who are looting your money. They are laundering the money through the banks for them. The politicians have access to the money, right? They were not bothered. But if they allow the deadline to come, then they will automatically lose so much. Not because they can't change the money. It's because they won't have enough new Naira notes that will match the stockpiled old ones that they were already prepared to spend for the elections. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Does it? Anyway, it doesn't have to. So, if they came to you and say, because Buhari is not giving the green light, some people are working within the presidency to make sure that if anybody comes out to perpetuate violence or share money or anybody transfer money anyhow during this time, they will be arrested. Account will be frozen. If they see you with any weapons, you'll be arrested, even if you are working for the ruling party. That is not clearer green light enough. So they can't come out and tell you that. Now you are struggling. So all they have to do is to make sure that the banks they own don't give you the money. It's very simple. So this is where Ekembeke Soro Irong Parofunro, the liars, deceiving the deceivers, and they are telling themselves, deceiving themselves, and you are the pawn on their chess table. Right. So they started the campaign. We need to speak for the people. There are people in villages. Meanwhile, before the rest of you in southern Nigeria even see or touch that new notes they are talking, it was in the middle of January. Some of you didn't touch the money until the middle of January. Meanwhile, up north, they were already using vans to transport these new notes to the remotest of the remotest part of the northern Nigeria. But remember, the people who brought the policy, they didn't bring the policy because they want to make your life better. No. It's to make it hell. It is to do exactly what they are doing right now. They know the amount of money in your circulation. So they took them out, right? And they gave a far less amount to replace what they took out, and they said cashless policy. They don't want too much money in accounts. I mean, in your hands. They want you to go and open bank accounts, right? So it is a calculated one that will already breed this confusion. But how do you think they can use that for an election when it's going to be totally, I'm coming, give me a sec.
He don't cast, last. Everybody go chop breakfast. He don't cast, last. Everybody go chop breakfast. He don't cast, last. Everybody go chop breakfast. He don't cast, last.
So that's how they have to bank on it. But banking on it has made many of them now to commit even more crimes that will actually this week will decide a lot. Sorry about that, flickering and then flickering picture. I do have issue with those batteries sometimes. So the people that didn't care when you were home for 8 solid months as students, they didn't care. Buhari didn't care. At some point, they told you to start praying. At a point, they told you to tell your parents to start begging the lecturers to go back to work. At a point, they started the propaganda against the lecturers. Then it got to a point, they created splitter groups, splitter union to divide. The teachers, the lecturers union in Nigeria, the university lecturers there, all this were done by the same people who gave no damn about you. But suddenly, they feel like you queuing to buy petrol or unable to have access to your money is a plot against their candidates, but they are unable to mention the names of the people behind it. So every time they raise this dust, they will drag Buhari out, take him out Buhari will come out in order to make it look like, you are the ones who are just doubting things. These people are together. It will appear at their campaign. Vote for Tinubu, vote for Ashiwaju to continue what we are doing. But it's doing exactly opposite of what they want him to do in order for them to believe that he is with them. Abi? Anyway, cashless elections. Buhari started deploying soldiers in Ogun State today. As the banks are unable to give you money, the state governor stepped in. Something like this.
Who are you, please? Just brief introduction about yourself.
Speak to us.
Why are you in this place? Why are you here?
I want to come and collect money in GT Bank.
And what is your experience since then?
No.
When do you get here?
I want to deposit this money in CBN.
Okay.
They say that they are postponing it to April 10.
Okay.
They say if you have 500,000, you come and deposit.
Now, what are you doing here now?
I want to come and collect money.
And did you get the money?
No.
But what did the governor do for you?
Governor give us money.
Can you just flank the envelope? Please, just let us see the envelope.
This envelope.
Oh yeah, down, please, quickly. Just wave the envelope. Oh, yeah, got envelope, bye. Oh, woman, wọ́n máa gbà lọ́wọ́ yìí kì í ṣe new money old money wọ́n máa gbà lọ́wọ́ yìí ẹ máa ná so ó máa gbà lọ́wọ́ yìí ẹ dúró ó ti sọ ẹ dúró ó ti promising pé ó máa gbà á the governor is coming back any mistake we are coming back so what do you say to the governor for this what do you say. ìyẹn ní kọ́kọ́ máa gbà lọ́wọ́ yìí kí lè fẹ́ sọ fún gómìnà pé ó ṣe báyìí. àmì Èdùmàrè ẹ ṣe.
I'm so sorry, I'm not supposed to laugh. A state governor, Ogun State governor, was giving people money who went to the central bank to see if they could get the new notes. They didn't get that. Those who had old notes, they couldn't deposit them. Then they heard the news that the governor is sharing money. Oh, they thought it would be new notes. So they opened the government house and they started bringing out bags of money. Old 1,000 Naira notes. And this is to tell the people that, listen, all you have to do is to make sure that we come back. If I come back as governor, I will come back and take all the old money from you. Okay? And I will change them to the new ones for you. If anybody refuses to take that money from you, just call these numbers. We will shut down the business. All of these are the counter meeting done by the El Rufaya and gang. That is going to be their fighting, their way of fighting back. Government house with, is it billions? Somebody said that a Northwest governor currently have 22 billion naira cash inside the government house in Kano. You should know they are talking about Gandola. Suddenly, the people that kept our people poor intentionally, the people that made policy that will further impoverish our people, suddenly they decided to bring out worthless money that their own party has declared illegal. Their own government declared illegal. They brought the money out and they started sharing them to the people. What does that tell you? That means bokohari and they mefiole. So they were right after all. They were actually stashed money in government houses in Nigeria. And they are meant for election. If there were no money, if there were no policy about changing money or anything, by Friday, the 24th of February, you will see government vehicles protected by the police, the military vehicles, transporting bags of money everywhere. According to them, the party agents will need to buy gala. They will need to buy drinks because they have to be at the polling unit all day. But with this, these guys are now showing that indeed APC, Egbe, starting from them, Nigeria politicians, they are worse than the devils. Whatever the definition of the devil in your book, these guys are, I can't describe them. And a lot of you are in bondage. You are in their bondage. I wish I have some superpower, right? To deliver you. You are in some bondage of these criminals. They put you there. Your reactions and every other thing you are doing right now, they put you there. But look at it. The same resources that could have indeed helped you lead a stable, better lives,
They stole them and stockpiled them for a period like this when you are more like frustrated. And it is almost working. The question now is, how long is the confusion going to be? Again, I really sympathize with so many of you who have ignorantly fallen for all their lies and the whole back end. I'm coming back to the political part of it. I sympathize with you and see. May God see my heart. Okay? I sympathize with you. But you see, those of you who are actually like the Lagos Abobakus who are looking for those to drag into your pity party and the rest, I'm going to tell you something tonight, and you don't have to take it. You know, you never really take anything I say anyway. Okay? But I'll tell you something tonight. You see, these 6 days, as much as it is crucial for so many people who are saying that they want to stop APC or stop Tinubu, it is also crucial for Tinubu as well. And I'll keep saying it that whatever happens after this year Saturday charade, if it's ever old though, whatever happened in your charade afterward is what will really determine if Nigeria is going to exist for another decade or not. I'm just saying. So you need to understand that. So yeah, everybody is feeling the bite, and I sympathize with you. There's no point in coloring it, as they say. So the politics there, ladies and gentlemen, is that the house divided against itself could be in a way a smoke screen for something even bigger, and that this is coming from the supposed people from the same group, right? APC, Egbekegbe, even makes it more scarier. People said there will be no election in Nigeria for 3 years now. A lot of people have presented a lot of theories that will make it impossible to have election in Nigeria, or a peaceful one at that. And in all of these theories, APC, Egbekegbe, including Buhari, keeps coming out to say, you are just wishing that that will happen, but it's not going to happen. There will be an election, there will be a transition, and there will be another president in Nigeria in May and all of that stuff. They keep doing that. But 3 days ago, El Rufai said there is actually a plan for interim national government in place by Buhari, and they haven't responded to that up to now. He said it. He made a broadcast. He said they are doing everything to make sure that Asiwaju loses, or there is no election at all. In fact, there is a plan to stage a coup. This is an allegation coming from the same political party, the same government. Now that makes it more scarier. Not to some of you who have already projected it for so long. I would rather work with the pieces of what we can see now. So if it's what you have seen for so long, maybe not this way, not like this, but you've seen it anyway, well, kudos to you. Because these 6 days will determine every prophecy, as you say. I've got mine, but they're not prophecies. They're just like permutations that are obvious, right? That you can arrive at a particular conclusion because of certain pieces that you've got to get, pieces of information that are public, not secret anymore. Do you get that now? We all have that projection. So when people woke up this morning in Lagos and they started seeing soldiers marching, kilo little, they said they are doing soldiers. It's routine. Nigerian military always do the march, and they do that every once in a month. In fact, some do it every week. Blah 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 blah. Okay, it's a show of force. What are you saying? Routine march for exercise and stamina and all of your show of force. Anyway, 6 days to your elections, you rather have to get used to seeing these images, as some people are telling you, and it could mean something else too. Yeah? Look at this one.
Jesus! You do video, better video. Let me do that. Do video for them. See army.
Well prepared.
Ojo. On foot. From first gate to Ojo. From first gate to Ojo.
Mandy black.
Those ones are DSS.
So when the APC governor started making all these moves, right? Do you remember when I told you that, have you observed that there hasn't been any real successful protests in Nigeria since APC Egbekegbe came to power? And why? So somebody said, but NSAS was very successful. I said, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. Right? Because the violence of the government ended up chasing the protesters out of the streets, not the demands of the protesters forcing the hands of the government to change what they are demanding for, like we used to see in the past. And that person said, why? I said, so simple. The people that usually organize protests in Nigeria, historically, successful ones, when we are talking about endless protest, group here and there, people being jailed, journalists being picked up against military, against civilian, and until 2015. They are those in power. They are those who went into alliance with the CPC. We are talking about the Tinubu's gang from the time of Nadeko to the time of Afenifere, from then to the time of Ohaneze and the rest of them. There are those coordinating them, my brother. Then to the bigger part, NLC, TUC, NUJ, CAC, FMD. Sorry, those ones don't exist. I'm just making those up. There are those who coordinate all these guys. With a single phone call, they will group. With a single phone call, they will shut everywhere down. Pengasan, Kegasano, Igonsano, and that san everywhere. But the moment APC Egbekegbe came to power, they started giving the heads of all of these organizations, who are actually politicians pretending to be NGOs in Nigeria, CSOs in Nigeria. They started giving them appointments. They started dismantling all those structures that were funded by the politicians from southern Nigeria, obviously. They wouldn't need them anymore. So it was easier then that when Buhari's government gone rogue, arresting citizens anyhow, killing people anyhow, making people disappear for criticizing the government. There were no real sounds or strong voice to stand up, except the echo chambers. Thank God for social media. If not, you know what I mean? Straight to the plantation camp. Social media came to our rescue at some point, and we all regained our voices anyhow. And then it became a threat that even the APC, in fighting back, decided that the Nigerian lawmakers should give them laws that could turn the social media into a power switch that they could turn on and off and on, whenever they like. But they are still yet to be able to do that. Trust me. It was them. Arrest them. Close their bank accounts.
Go and look for the prominent ones among them. If they say they have no leaders, let's target those who are really outspoken among them. Shut their pages down, shut their tweets, shut everything. That could give them that influence. Any traditional media houses that associate with this generation of these young people, shut them down. Then it became a class war, like a Dele Farotimi would say. He did say that on my program. He said, Mayegun, the problem of Nigeria is not religion, it's not tribe, it's not ethnic. It is class war. So it was easier that people became profiled and targeted by APC. They even went as much as banning Twitter in Nigeria to control the conversation. They lost. These guys didn't say a word, a jack word. But 3 months to the end of the madness, 3 months to the end of the terror, the people that enabled the terror for years, those who called you wailing wailers, those who called you enemy of Nigeria, those who watched bokohari divide Nigeria to these irreparable states of precipice. They suddenly care that they won't have money for election, and you believe them? Of course I don't. But you know something? Like Pastor Ruga said, last, now everybody go chop the breakfast. Evil that you see so have no friends. You can't defend evil and feel protected. You might as well consider yourself as the most dumbest person. And if you have actually been associate of APC, you have associated with evil. And if you think you are saved from his pang and his consequences, oh, I'm going to let you think again. You get that? You would have to. Because according to the people, there is something bigger. It is no longer in their favor. And if they should be out of favor and out of power, and that is because of one selfish man called Buhari, they might as well just break everything up. Guess what? Those who rejected restructuring have restructured Nigeria because they disagreed with what? Policy of bokohari that doesn't even affect them. You are going to see the new Naira note on the day of your election. You will be shocked. They have the money. But that's not why they are shouting. So at first, that's why I said, in my mind, this is how I feel. To those of you who are the victims, genuine victims of this soul madness, I cry, I crow, I crew. I cram for you, which means I shall cry, I tear. But for those of you who have been friends of evil and you think you are actually you are doing this to hurt anyone but yourselves, there is also a way I feel towards you. Both feelings are expressed in this clip.
God will shame you. Mayegun, you will see Ashiwaju will be the president on Sunday. Baba, when that Sunday comes, do you know how I'm going to feel? It's going to be something like this, if you don't mind.
What shall I say unto the Lord? Yes, Lord. All I have to say, thank you, Lord. What shall I say? Thank you, Lord. shall I say unto the Lord? Yes, Lord. All I have to say, thank you, Lord. What shall I say? Thank you, Lord.
On Sunday. I'll get to that part as well. I've got something to tell you about that. Bokohari did a broadcast this morning, and I actually felt like it was like mocking Tinubu, because the real thing is not about the Naira. Trust me. Bokohari will make you remember the reasons why you have been waiting for a day you can actually pay back APC. Some of you believe that you could do that with the election, right? And surprisingly so, the records and then the polls are showing that a lot of you are so determined that you will overwhelm the voting process enough that they will see the highest turnout of voters ever seen before. And Bokohari said, and it will count every single of the votes. But traditionally, when they say you don't have structure, the structure is that to make sure that a lot of you don't really come out per se. There is a structure to stop you from coming out. There's also a structure to ensure that those of you who come out, half of you or more than half of you are victims of the already rotten system. You need a little bit of survivor, and they will offer you right there, right then, and you're going to change your mind. That's a structure they're talking about. That's a structure that Bokohari is making it difficult for all of them, right? Or pretending to be making it difficult for them now. Abikini Gugwili, APC states, Ojo, Songo, Abeokuta.
Military. Get ready. City boy. This is Ogun State. Ogun State. Military. Get ready.
It's election, ladies and gentlemen. It's not war. No wonder some of you have been mentally or psychologically destroyed. Nigeria did us bad. A lot of us are suffering from PTSD from growing up in Nigeria. It's not a good experience that some of you would likely love to beautify. If you say referendum, are you trying to bring war to Nigeria? Are you ready for the war? I say, Baba, referendum is not war now. What do you mean? The government is going to, they will bring army out. I said, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. Oh, I get it now. Because that's how you conduct your elections. It is always war. Official war, non-official war. Abi, official state actors, unofficial state actors, all of them acting for the same purpose. A rigged, flawed system that could only produce one single result. Archaic, obsolete, selfish, corrupt people. So election is war in Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. And the soldiers are being mobilized already. But according to them, you have nothing to be worried about. Just tell your Peking to behave this week and the weeks after that in Nigeria election. Democracy, no problem, according to the APC. Now, they are taking this APC versus APC stuff now beyond what they are telling you. All right? And I don't want you to be, all right, I don't want you to be making things up yourself. Let's make things up based on what things we have seen. Please.
I can see soldiers and their trucks, and this is a Fadiniji everywhere. So, yeah. I can see soldiers and their trucks, and this is a Fadiniji everywhere. So
as Adeniji, trucks, so they say na routine, now so that they do every month. Now so they do for even they say Nassarawa Guso for Nassarawa, Zamfara. Then that's what they do too. Okay, bokohari is should continue then. So this is bringing them a lot of concern that they don't like to publicly admit. Okay, yesterday, to show to you that they don't have to give anybody money before they are going to support APC. They went to Borno, even though this morning or this afternoon, all APC governors have decided, I've met with Kolu to talk about what is going to be next. I'm going to tell you a few of the things I don't hear say go happen this week. Don't quote me, but just have them at the back of your mind that in every rumor, there is a possibility of truth. And lies in it there, the truth as well. I'll tell you. So when they got to Borno, they said, almost see cashless crowd. They were so proud. They were so proud. Like, look at the cash, look at the crowd. Anyway, maybe they did transfer or not. Let's go to that Borno, Maiduguri, the headquarters of the Boko Haram in Nigeria, especially where the running mate to Kolu was once a governor. A state with about 27 local government areas. But as we speak, only just about 5 or 6 of them are under the control of Nigeria and the state governor or government of Borno State. The rest, you're asking me, what happened to the rest? Controlled by the terrorists that said they want to Islamize Nigeria, Boko Haram. A majority of the population of Borno State, they live in IDP camps. In fact, the success of their governor, which was given to them by the same man, the shitty man. This governor success is built on him building houses for displaced people by Boko Haram's in Nigeria, Borno State. But ladies and gentlemen, according to APC, the first cashless campaign by shameless people that can never be shamed. Cashless campaign, ladies and gentlemen.
And to say thank you. You prove different. And the road renewal is here. Success is back. I can guarantee one thing. Hard work, honesty, and accountability. We will do it. We will rebuild the economy. We will develop Nigeria throughout the country. Those who knew Lagos will have been able to differentiate what we take over in 1999. Today, we are promising you, the people of Kaduna, you have faced difficulties, you have faced challenges. That is over now. You have suffered deprivation, you have suffered homelessness, some people created orphans. We will take care of all of you. Your smile is back. Your happiness is here. Is here. And I assure you that the government that is coming
anyway, so that's from Borno. Hope is here. And then all that is said anyway. So some said that once Kolu becomes your president, working in italic, you can actually possibly just imagine it. Some said never, I can never imagine. Okay. We'll get to that part if you are still following. So please, if you are still watching, you can take a moment and subscribe onto this channel, like the the broadcast. And if you feel like this is not good, do you want me to advise you the best advice? Even if you have subscribed onto my Ogun's Diary Political at all, I would advise you to unsubscribe, okay? Because this is how it's always been, blunt, straightforward, and sometimes petty. People say, oh, you are so petty. I say, yeah, I like being petty. But if you enjoy being truthful, sincere, and factual, do you understand? Factual in analysis and things, right? And then petty. Yes, I'm always very petty. Some say, I'm so insulting. You are so insulting. You shouldn't be insulting. I say, well, I'm not insulting you, okay? Except if you are not who you say you are, all right? If you are who you say you are, not a friend of the criminals who have been the regular tormentors, we call them the oppressors, but they have names and they are from everywhere. If you are not one of them, or if you are not one of their sympathizers, honestly, you will never take anything I say as insult. Trust me. You just laugh. People just laugh because they know that I don't insult people. I insult the people that have insulted our sensitivity many times. And they feel like they could just get away with it. You know what I mean? Like what you are just witnessing, right? A criminal gang came together as a political party and they took over government in Nigeria, right? Simply because people were scared. They were scared of the direction they believed that their country was going then. They didn't want a divided country. They wanted a united one. They didn't want a poor country. They wanted a prosperous one.
They don't want a corrupt country, right? They want a country with accountability. I mean, those are not too much. I remember, like, just like yesterday, 7.5 years ago, when these propagandists, these criminals were telling you almost everything. Oh, we'll defeat Boko Haram in months. All it takes is just the political will. A leader that loves the people, that loves the country. Oh, Bobo. So I don't want to bore you with everything they've said. But for the same people to turn around and start blaming you for reacting the way you are reacting to them, isn't that an insult? So if you insult them, why should you be offended? That's what I tell people, right? If I say things that offends you, it's because you are one of them. And it's fine. You see, it's okay. I just don't like people pretending and then hiding behind, you know, you could have said it the other way. You should know that, you know, are you not a Yoruba? No, come on, all those things don't play on me. And that's why I said that if you have subscribed onto my channel before, I will advise you not to, okay? Or else you're going to end up calling me arrogant. He's so proud. Look at him. Look at the way he's talking. He has no respect. That's why you're going to have to call me one of those. Simply because I will continue to speak the way I'm speaking, and you're going to be taking them personal as you have been taking them personal, and I'm not going to say things that are actually going to make you laugh all the time. No, I won't. There are things I'm going to say too, that no matter how much you are not with them too, but if you have that your own biased mind, your bigoted mind, hidden somewhere, that you pretend to say, I don't believe in any of them. I just don't like the way you are insulting them. Ah, Baba. If they shake you, if they shake you too much, Agbado go, they drop for your head, for your pocket, for everywhere. It go just they drop everywhere. So I know all of that. But just don't hide behind all of that, okay? Just come straight. Be honest. All right? Because me, I am a realist. All right? In my world, right? Events, they don't just happen. There are things, especially in politics, they are not circumstantial. They are not accident. Nothing breaking or shocking. There are always pointers, pieces of information, happenings that are right there, right in front of you. But you know why some of you don't see them? Your bias. I'm a Yoruba man. I can't talk like that. I'm a Christian. I'm not allowed to talk like that. Oh, I'm a true Muslim. I'm not expected to publicly say what I feel about these people. Come on. Come on. Stop hiding how it is. I mean, don't stop hiding your bias. I mean, your bias behind all those excuses. I don't. And that's why I said that you hold me nothing. You hold me nothing. By saying, I like you. I don't like you anymore. No, you don't. You don't owe me anything. But if the truth helps you, then I'm fine. So talking about the truth, the criminal politicians who are so much hate the truth, they manufacture theirs. That's politics. You need to understand that the characters that are acting the script, the political script of Nigeria, they are not subhuman. They are not superhuman. Now you just get so blinded with so much excuses. Blinded, ethnic, tribe, religion, other things that you make up that they don't. So they call themselves, when they return back from Borno, Maiduguri, Wala Deo. This is the last week. Oh. What is Megiddo talking about now? What is his plan? Is he going to is he going to extend it? Because this whole thing is confusing. We don't even know what to say to people anymore. Yeah, they met in Abuja. Let me show you. Yeah, the APC governors with Kolu, right? And I'll show you what the outcome of the meeting also looks like, okay? Watch them.
How many of you remember when Pastor Ruga said this?
The future of our children compels us and compels all of you, our distinguished delegates, to vote right tonight. We are a religious nation. We believe in the power of prayer. We all pray for a country that is peaceful and prosperous. But God allows us, by our voting, to show Him whether we mean the prayers we pray or not. You cannot wish this country well and vote for someone you do not believe in. You cannot.
So, Pastor Ruga, in the camp of Tifnumbu, is a betrayer. They even printed posters that they distributed all over Abuja and Lagos. His image, calling him Judas, who sold his master. And since then, he has gone incommunicado. But they are calling him out now that Shitabanja Bika Kuni. Now that the old people are ganging up against Tifnumbu in the villa, is he part of them? Or is going to defend his master, Tifnumbu? All of these are going to come out this week. The dragging will be more public and they will be more direct. And I think to add to that confusion, that was why Buhari made this broadcast. It's not even broadcast. First, they started tweeting for him, where he was saying, fellow Nigerians, I want you to thank you for all you have done for me, my life and my family, especially the one you did for me on my health and then my family changing all their lives. Twice. And I understand the hardship you are going through. Okay. However, Kolu Jagabandito is the candidate of his party. And he will continue from where he is going to hang the boot on the shege you are saying. That you should vote for him. I think people started saying, no, Buhari didn't do this. So Buhari did not lie. Nonsense. Don't start. Remember, when El Rufaya first said that they have to extend the deadline of the Naira swap from the end of January to the end of June, then the rumors started flying that they are going to extend it by 10 days, only for them to go further to the Supreme Court to get it to 15 days. That's 15th of February. Yeah? Where is that? Right. In fact, this is what I want to show you next. Watch this before I continue that.
For doing election. Because demographically, we are winning. We are clear ahead.
How do you?
And secondly, let me tell you this.
The election is not
let me
even
go
here
down.
yet.
Let me go down to the basics of election. And I think my brother Dogowa mentioned it some 2 days ago. You know, when he said there are legitimate funds approved by law. Don't forget that. For me to run the elections, I don't need to launder money. He said for him, for example, he needs 70 million as approved by law. As approved by law, we have about 5 billion approved by law. You know that. What do we need to launder money for? And let me address this issue of moving money during election day. INEC said now they need money to move during election day. When you tell people this and you deceive Nigerians, you are just being, I'm sorry, you are being economical with the truth to Nigerians.
They are going to sack him this week. Only one more lifeline is left, okay, for the Ugeli charge and bail lawyer, Festus Otobokeyamo. So they're going to sack him this week. Because the pressure is going to get to that stage where he's going to say more, okay? INEC came out and said they don't need the Naira notes. They don't need Naira notes to get the election done. They've said that many times, but Otobokeyamo continue to repeat that. And at the same time, there is more he said. I'm still going to show you. Sure you get. So just the same way, when El Rufaya at first started those drama, so Buhari quickly came out to say, okay, I will just extend it to the 10th of February. No more. He acted. And the following day, they went to campaign in Bauchi or I don't know. So that's to show that, they are together. They are not, you know what I mean? Then afterward, the Supreme Court says 5 more days, right? Buhari came out and said, if you listen to anybody, you are your own. Oh. Sure you get. Then El Rufaya did his own broadcast to say, Buhari is the one that is on his own. Oh. There are central bank in states in Nigeria. They are taking over central banks in Nigeria and central banks offices in their states. So which means all the money, they will take them from you and all of that. That's a counter order. So Buhari started tweeting, like I said, this morning. You know he doesn't. It's either Tolu or Bashiru or Femi Oponu-Adesina or Gabeji Siewu or Layamo. These are the people that usually control the social media of Buhari. In fact, Bashiru, you remember Bashiru, the special advisor to Buhari on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram disputes. Some of you don't know him, but some people know him, especially some young people. If you're on Twitter, you know Bashiru Ahmed, right? So these are the people tweeting all that nonsense. But to prove that even like I say the chess game don't enter another range now, they have to say, Papa, Baba. Some people don't believe saying, are you the talk? What do you want me to do? Let's do small video. Oh, yeah, put your back for that place. I'll use my phone. So Buhari did it's not a broadcast again. I don't know why I kept saying broadcast or short video to let everybody know that everything he is typing, call, now in the type amo. Person where they hold Naira, president of a country that controls the central bank, holding the Naira, creating the chaos, started tweeting about the hardship. The petroleum scarcity, fuel scarcity in Nigeria has been there for months. It's like it's not happening. It's like you are just going into the filling station and buying fuel and everything is just normal. Some people just want to hate APC. That's why they don't want you to see Naira. But the man behind it started playing the mind game with all of you again. The man that you believe is dumb or dead. Sure you get. Say, Baba, yeah, people don't believe saying, are you the tweets? Oh yeah, fellow Nigerians, because if you don't put fellow Nigerians, it won't read. But Baba, it makes sense. Be honest. This won't make any sense. From President of Nigeria, the one that is behind everything you are facing right now. Guess what? The coward Tinubu Lagos Abobaku Oshogu Alimajiri, the ass lickers, the ass kissers, the crumb eaters, and the crumb chasers, the all risers.
they are not bold enough to face Buhari, but they will face him this week to make them more confused. I'm still on your side. I am not just going to let you use the army. And I'm not going to let Emefiole pull the bullion van for you, the one you keep in your house. Well, if you can convince people to collect it from you, that's fine. But I'm not going to change my mind. But I'm going to tell them that the hardship, I understand the hardship. And we are doing everything to make sure that the hardship stop. Yeah? But the Naira and the 1,000, the 500, they will still remain illegal. He didn't say that in the video. That's why I said this video this morning sounded like somebody just toying with you, playing with you, Nigerians, anti-Tinubu, and adding to the confusion. Eh?
Fellow Nigerians, God has once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria, who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is reliable, and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God willing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Did you see the ring light? And did you see the smirk? As they, they call it smirk, the smirk over his face. Could you see that grin? It's like he's laughing inside, reading what he was reading. Because he believed no jack, nothing, especially in the last, the second, the third, and the last paragraph, what he said. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But I could see the fakery in it. It was like mocking you. We are doing everything behind the scene and all of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, God bless you. God, he said you should endure a little bit more. But what kind of endurance will make people be subjected to suffer, hardship, life-threatening hardship to access their money? What kind of heartlessness could have brought that? What kind of state-sponsored policy could have brought that? But there has never been any divide and rule tool introduced into Nigeria politics, and this very, very effective and confusing and working in the interest of just one person that a lot fail or find difficult to blame. Even when they try to blame him, you know what they do? They blame people around him for misleading him. And he keeps doubling down. So that's the fakery I saw. I was like, that's the fakery behind that, that mask. That's why I said maybe it's just me. You get what I mean? Like cashless policy, so that people won't be carrying money about. And we want people to be safe from giving money to terrorists and all of that. Whatever it is not working, right? But guess what? A divide and rule, very, very potent divide and rule tactic, right? People who don't like bokohari strongly believe that it is targeted at the same people of his own party. So he's about to let the politician loose. Now that Obi is making so much wave, that could be to his advantage. Therefore, it's APC versus APC, Jare. The APC members who have kept quiet, for 7.5 years, because they had nothing to lose. Power, money, wealth, everything was intact. Nothing was threatened, despite the failed government of APC. They never felt threatened until now. And they are not threatened by you. They are more threatened by their own person instigating you against them, and then tying their hands behind them, making it difficult for them to fight back. If I started speaking parable, Abi, what are you talking about? I don't understand. You don't speak in parable. No, I'm not speaking in parables. Let me tell you. You are angry with APC. Naturally, you will do anything to deal with them if you are given the chance. Yeah? Great. Buhari has given you the chance to deal with APC. But by making the people he is targeting also to feel like they are fighting for you, they are fighting him for you. Meanwhile, you have known that he is fighting them for you, believe that he's fighting them for you. So it's a matter of time. It will soon be over. 7.5 years and 3.5 months. We can endure anything, Buhari. So what does that mean? You are on his side without even having to campaign to you that supports me. You want him to continue no matter the hardship. And if he continues, his own people are going to lose the power. Do you get that now? So somehow, you are against the people that are against him. Even though he is against you. His government, his policies have always been against you. Your economic interest, your citizenship right interest. For 7.5 years, this is your life. But for this last minute, the divide and rule is working so perfectly well. All Buhari has to do is just to watch. Just watch. If there's going to be election or not, now we'll not go decide. All he has to do is to provoke those who understand what they're about to lose. And at the same time, raise the optimism of you that believe that by doing that to them, the establishment will crumble and you will win. Do you understand that now? No. Sorry, don't blame yourself. Okay? It is Nigeria politics. Ask anybody who can actually explain it better than myself. They will likely come back with this.
Àwọn ọlọ́pàá máa kó anybody lẹ́nu. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá máa kó anybody lẹ́nu. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá máa kó anybody lẹ́nu.
That's it. So people can be telling you things and all of that stuff. It's all coming from the state of confusion that you have in Nigeria right now. So if you are confused, what is all this? Hey, who are the people behind this? Stop hammering your head. This man is behind it. Okay? And that is Buhari. And so many of you may never imagine that. What is he up to? Chaos. In chaos lies power that some of you have no idea of. And you are about to find out. Yeah? He is doing everything to help the frustration of his own people who can't even read him anymore. Some of you said that it's a game, Mayegun. Don't be deceived. Beleo. Mr. Gima, as it be so, now everybody is being gamed if you have interest in their election. And guess what? All of us have interest in their election. Whether you have a interest of it being successful or not, whatever, you know that whatever the outcome of their election or no election or their whatever happens there, we are interested because we are all going to be affected. And that's a fact. You know that. He's told them in Hausa like this. That same English message, briefly.
Jam'iyyata wato APC ta tsayar da ɗan takara shine Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Kamar yadda na yi ta faɗa a baya, Tinubu cikakken ɗan Najeriya ne, mai son jama'a ne da kuma ci gabansu. Ku zaɓi Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Zai riƙe amana, kuma idan Allah ya so zai ɗora akan yadda muka tsaya.
So the general of the Jagaban army has been told that they should be on standby too. Sure you get. The Jagaban army, who were also getting ready. One of them actually got the contract with INEC to transport INEC voting materials in Western Nigeria, including Kwara, Ilorin. MC Olueron is doing that. But I want you to listen to this guy. He's a minister in Nigeria. Festus, meanwhile, he's also a senior advocate of nuisance or senior advocate of nonsense. That is Festus Otobo Keyamo Ugeli Charge and Bail Lawyer.
For doing election. Because demographically, we are winning. We are clear ahead.
How do you?
And secondly, let me tell you this.
The election
let me go down to the basics of election. And I think my brother Dogowa mentioned it some 2 days ago. You know, when he said there are legitimate funds approved by law. Don't forget that. For me to run the elections, I don't need to launder money. He said for him, for example, he needs 70 million as approved by law. As approved by law, we have about 5 billion approved by law. You know that. What do we need to launder money for? And let me address this issue of moving money during election day. INEC said now they need money to move during election day. When you tell people this and you deceive Nigerians, you are just being, I'm sorry, you are being economical with the truth to Nigerians. Every political party needs to move money around on election day, not bribing of voters. Let me tell you why. You have appointed agents across 177 polling units across the country. Listen to this. I want Nigerians to listen to this. They are telling them lies, including people who says they don't spend shishi. They are telling them lies. They move money around. You need to give these agents stipends because you need them to wait. And this is legitimate money approved by law. It's not bribe. You need to wait from 8 o'clock when the voting starts. You need to wait at times to 10 o'clock in the night. Are you following me, Shehu? These agents need to be in place. Don't leave there for 1 hour. Don't leave, because when you leave, they may manipulate your vote. So the parties require them to stay. And don't leave there. When they stay, they need to drink Coke. They need to drink Pepsi. They need to drink, go and buy bread for me and cook. I'm not living here. They will give stipend. That is what is done.
Mr. Keyamo.
To agents. So these are the things they give. It's not
just
nobody. They are deceiving Nigerians.
Just why is it that
I want to finish now.
No.
This logic of
because
saying you want to buy votes.
This is not a free air time. Like I said earlier, why is it that the APC is the only political party vehemently fighting this policy?
No, because it is designed. They think they want to design it to rile up anger against the ruling party. Don't forget that once there is an anger on the streets about a policy, then it is against the ruling party, supposedly. Do you understand me? I'm struggling to explain to you. So it's not about the money now. It's about an experiment in behavioral pattern of Nigerians. That look, once we gaslight them, once we push, we make sure they will think, what are they doing? That the Nigerians are suffering. It's the APC. It's the APC. Now, look at it now. It has turned around against them. Let me finish now. Let me just make this point. It has turned around against them. Now, why? Because Nigerians know that Asiwaju, as a person, and is entitled to do so, does not support this policy. And he has done so respectfully. He has brought out his own 6-point agenda. You know that? You read it. I see what you say. For him, this is how he thinks. He has tried to solve the problem by his own suggestion.
Let me pose another question.
Now they are attacking some state governors of PDP now. They are saying they went to the court to support their suffering. They started attacking them. They are now blaming the opposition. It is not opposition, no.
Mr. Keyamo,
the people are angry against PDP now.
The president, in his speech yesterday, spoke about curtailing the politicians' use of money in elections. Do you think he's right?
They sold a dummy to him because who gave the mandate to CBN to cover election buying? Is that part of mandate of CBN? Go and look at the CBN Act. You are doing it through CBN. That's EFCC and some other. There are legitimate ways to go after people who want to influence election with money. The CBN Act has no provision. I'm sorry, it does not have any provision for curtailing vote buying. It does not have. So what's the mandate? What mandate is the CBN executing?
Do you know what your critics are saying, Mr. Keyamo? Just in a moment, that you are hiding under the sufferings of Nigerians, claiming that you love Nigerians and fighting this policy for your own gains and benefits.
We can get money to our agents without moving money around. I just want to let you know that it has not affected APC in any way. We are winning. I'm not saying this out of arrogance. We will win. Fair and square. We will win. We will not. It is not a problem to us. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you. Can I explain this to Nigerians?
How do you then tell
Nigerians? What you needed money for in those days is to bribe law enforcement agencies during the time of PDP. And that is what is in their head. That is why you can see them reacting this way. They think it is money they use to win election. The PDP has no other method to win election but crooked means. Over the years, they conducted the worst elections in the history of this country, especially the 2007 election that the Obasani...
Oh my God, oh my God.
Keyamo, Festus Otobo Keyamo. See how the man they try make things up, Abi. The money is not for election buying. It is for the party agent to buy stipend, to buy sweets. See the people with the APC, the people they are buying the sweet from.
Are you for? With me? Are you for? With me? Are you for? With me?
Just show your voter's card, collect money. He knows he's not talking to stupid people, but he also knows that he's also talking to stupid people, like people who actually really want to be stupid. Like, you can choose to be, you can just say, well, I just want to be stupid. So yeah, just want to be stupid. You will be surprised that there are people who actually want to be. And they give the likes of Ugelicha Jambe lawyer a sort of leverage. In Ogun State, the governor is giving the old money away. Like a bonanza, like bazaar right now. Okay? If you go and rob them, you may cut away millions of naira too. You know what I mean? Just go there and grab bags. They don't go chase you. Now old money. Buhari doctors say they are illegal. But at the same time, they are flooding their states with the old money that they stashed. As Central Bank of Nigeria, Emefiole, has withdrawn over 3 trillion naira of that money. So they are now flooding them with theirs, which happened to be the 2.9 trillion that Emefiole said they were looking for. Remember? Anyway, this is what El Rufaya told the people of Kaduna today. He said, in line with the subsisting order of the Supreme Court, the Kaduna government has directed its ministries, departments, and agencies to ensure that that their collection agents continue to accept payments made in all denominations of the Naira. Some said that even Central Bank of Nigeria is no longer taking the old Naira notes. Lawyers were saying that, by the way, the Supreme Court, they have said that your old Naira is legit. So, for you to know that even in Kaduna, people are not listening, to El Rufai, he had to send out this statement today to remind all of them that if anybody from Kaduna comes to any ministry, agency, or parastatal of government, right, they want to transact by, maybe they want to get some certificate, pay for this, pay for that, they must collect the money, the old money from them. And if people say, even the old money we no get, then talk to your state governor, okay? Some of them are now releasing the money as a bazaar, giving them to you and directing you to where you can spend the money, okay? Against the directives of Bokohari. As for Yeye Bello, the selfishness in him, we not want him to give that worthless paper note to you. Some said he would rather spend the money on something more personal. For example, this 500 to 600,000 bulletproof Escalade 600 2003 model, which they believe cost him between $500 to $600,000, somewhere around the 400 million naira. Do you get that now? Are you getting the logic now? So the money had to go. They just had to find a way of disposing them. So others are investing in properties, paying exorbitantly for landed properties here and there with that same old note. But it be like say the money too much. Are you with me? And they can't disburse them all before your elections. And at the same time, right, if the Supreme Court this week gives a judgment that says the money is legal, that will help them to perfect the con and further tank Nigeria economy, which is actually the whole thing anyway, except if you are not really paying attention. And all for what? All for what? All just to make somebody that will end up having to work like an italic to a word, what have you, a packaging that will be an embarrassment to you? Well. Your choice. So let's go to the next one, right? From among the things I picked up. You see, this week, this is the week that is more important than any other week in the political life of Nigeria. And I want to speak to you bluntly with facts. And I hope you'll be able to pick a sense from what I'm going to share with you, or it's going to help guide you in how you're going to handle this week and the days and the weeks after that. This is Nigeria's most important week. The journey to whether Nigeria is going to exist. When I say exist, I am.
Many people are in the bank because many people are dying. Everything are doing.
My name is Dr. Habu Salihu Magaji, a Grand Patrol of NANS. Sir, with due respect, we will not waste your time. The youth, the students, office of the president is not a place where a learner can go there as a president. Atiku Abubakar, as the vice president, he has led a lot. As the vice president, he knows the history of this country. As the president, he knows each and every local government in this country. As the president, he will call all the stakeholders of 36 states with their names. Greatest Nigerian student, I am here to present the endorsement to the awaiting president, Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri of Adamawa.
Thank you very much. That is the endorsement of Nigerian students on Atiku Okowa presidency by the grace of God.
It is smoke Igbo. It is taking them. It is.
Sorry about that. I had an interruption, I would say. It's sort of a hung system. So I had to like quickly reboot the entire thing and keep you on a short hold. So thank you very much. I was talking about this week, 6 days before the Nigeria's most anticipated, most talked about, and the possible, possibly the most controversial election that you're going to see if it ever holds. I am still positive that if the election doesn't hold, it's because they don't want it to hold. After all, do you get that now? If they do, indeed, it is going to hold. And now, this is the week that will determine that. From the beginning of this broadcast, I told you that the reasons why Tinubu and the rest of them are raising alarm of Naira, all this stuff, right? It's not actually because they care about Ekpo and Naira. Okay? No. It's not because they care that you don't like them. They know you don't. But they still have that leverage. If they could have it, that leverage of incumbency. In 2015, when people got, should I use that word, tired of people destroying people, PDP, cooking and serving the APC, Egbekegbese propaganda of change, was an easy sell. So it sold out, even from the kitchen, before people could actually smell what is the content of that change. They were tired, remember? Any other alternative would be better than this one. So APC, Egbekegbe, leveraged on that. But despite all that popular noise and all of that in 2015, and with about 60 million registered voters, according to them, only about 35% of them came out to participate in that. Well, according to their figure, only 35% or about 36% of them came out, which you can put at somewhere around 20 million or so, or 25 million. By February 2019, after 4 years of the APC, people were like, we are done. You remember that? But months, weeks, and days leading to the charade of 2019, there were already pointers that they were going to muzzle their hands in and they're going to keep the sick bokohari. Whatever happens, even if Nigeria is going to burn, they don't give a damn. The message was deliver bokohari. I remember when I was sharing one of the stories of the rigging of 2015, coordinated one. Then, talking about the 2019 election rigging, coordinated one, I did mention one of the wreck that got killed, the wreck in Kano that got killed with his family. It wasn't in 2019. That was in 2015 as part of the grand plot. But when they grabbed power in 2015, it wasn't done like the way you are saying things right now. It was coordinated from within. And there are certain things that played their role, that they infiltrated the government that they are part of, killed it, so that they can join the new one they are creating. And that's exactly what happened. But despite all of that, it didn't really turn the people on to join them. A lot of people stayed away, according to their statistics. So in 2019, people who witnessed 2015, witnessed Kogi, witnessed other things that happened before 2019, they further stayed away. Like, he's going to rig himself in. It doesn't matter what happened. Guess what? They recorded more voters, took them from 60 to maybe about 70 million. At the end of the day, less than 30% of those people participated in the election as well. Right. Less than 30. So people now said, from 1999 to 2003, 2007, 2011, 15, 19, that more and more people have lost interest in the elections in Nigeria. A lot of the people
register for the voters card as a form of ID card, identification card, that whenever they want to fill up any form and they say present a national ID card, present any ID card that has a national what have you, so they can present their voters card. So statistically, people are not interested because they have lost interest in the process. The process is still the same until the obedience came. That theory hasn't been tested yet. And it is also contributing to this tension right now. Because according to some, this whole destroying APC, according to them, destroying APC is to the advantage of either Atiku or Obi. They are okay with one, but they can't stomach the other. And that is part of the whole tricky confusion too. Remember, so in 2019, they couldn't get anybody to be interested, and exactly what people said will happen happened. The INEC that was claiming to be ready, doing all this abracadabra, all those demo. The election came, and the story repeated itself. Buhari got rigged back in, right? And the rest was completed by the Tanko technicality of the Supreme Court, appointed by Buhari after chasing the CJN at the time, who happened to be somebody they believed would make it really hard to cement what they were cooking in 2019. So 6 days to another one. This time around, the selfish man, Buhari, is no longer on the ballot. His own political party members accuse him of conspiring to make people hate his party so that his party can lose and his party can lose. They are now dancing around that. So here are the expected stuff that will happen this week that will then shape if you are going to have an election this Saturday or not. Remember that the Supreme Court is part of the old scheme now. I want you to look forward to the Supreme Court giving an order that will say the extension given to 200 Naira should be extended to the 500 and the 1,000 Naira old notes until April 10, 2023, after the election, citing the shortages as well as the tension that the scarcity of Naira has created in so many states. And to save Nigeria from anarchy, they will order that the old Naira should remain legal. Right. So when that happened, very close to the election, the whole game will then come back to the same man they are running away from, because he is the only one who can actually release or authorize at the end of the day if your money is legal or not, to add to the confusion. But just before that, I have this my instinct telling me that before the Supreme Court will even say that, from tomorrow, where people have been hearing that some banks in Nigeria have sent out a sort of memo that all of the banks that got attacked in the last few days will cease to operate until after the elections. Also, all of their branches and also all of their offices in different estate branches are going to shut down. Now, here is what you should look out for this week. If Buhari, the atlas money coin that they believe is dumb, do what I think it would do, it's going to be, you're going to see more soldiers. Then you're going to see more attacks. Then you're going to see more skeletal money transaction and all of that business activities. When it comes to banking in Nigeria, it is coordinated. Now, both way is just to help Buhari to legitimize further police and then military mobilization. Now, this week, you are going to see more police and soldiers displaying this madness of we are here, we are watching. Are you with me? Then instantly, something tells me Buhari will then announce either before the Supreme Court or pretending to agree with the Supreme Court, they will pretend to extend it at the dying minute, but the money will not be available. Rather, the damages would have been done by then. Or, from the other instinct, from the things I've been picking up myself, these guys are, like I told you, that this is not about money. It's not about the new money and what have you, or scarcity of it. No. It is about the state structure that will guarantee the easy movement of all their resources for the election, the armed thugs, armed police, money, and all those things to go smoothly, including unleashing violence in the areas of their oppositions in order to force voters' apathy that will eventually work in the favor of the APC. But from my own findings, the damages have been done already. So whether Buhari extend the legality or it doesn't, it has done the damages to APC even the more. And the data is proving that. So, if the allegation of Buhari plotting interim national government, so what will happen? Buhari will reject and he will double down this week. It will remind all of you the section of the 1999 fraudulent constitution that empowers him to overrule all of this, including the Supreme Court. You will be shocked, alarmed, but he's going to follow it up with actions. You know why? He did this intentionally. He expected all these reactions. Okay? So if the allegation that they are plotting a government of interim national government, there will be no election, and these guys are already sponsoring violence, riots, and naturally, organically, a lot of you are already being so frustrated in all of this nonsense. So organically, you're going to assemble. Okay? So to me, if that allegation is true, then the mobilization of the military is in preparation for Buhari's plan to double down. Reject all of their advices, reject all of their threats, because he knows it is not about the money. It is about the state capture, something to force him to comply and let them have their way. This is the last week. If they can't have their way with the riot and violence, the election will be postponed. Of course it will be postponed. No matter how much Buhari tried to do gra-gra, there will be riots. If he insists that the money should not be legal. Now, Buhari will need to begin to accept that the people that have been defending and protecting his failed government, they are feeling the pang of that same failed government, and they are not going to lie low. So that same Buhari should begin, they are sending the signal to Buhari to know that this is war. If this whole thing goes down, we are going to fight you. Even before the election, after the election, before you hand over, we're going to come for you. Now, if you lose out in all of this, just know something. Watch your back. And Buhari, on the other hand, is like, oh, really? I'm not going to listen to these threats. In fact, we will double down. With or without Supreme Court support, the old money remain illegal. So what will happen then? This is a frustration week. They will activate the riot. They will infiltrate all of your protests. All of you that are being told to stay away from protests, you will naturally join. No, you'll be frustrated to join. Trust me. It's going to get worse this week. If Buhari chose to double down, and I think he is going to double down because there's no time for game anymore, or he is going to comply to add to your confusion. That way that Buhari will comply is just to let you know that, all of you to know that, see, I've exposed them now. You see, it's all about the money. Yeah, I mean, sorry, it's not just about the money. See all of them bringing out all the old money now. Okay, fine. If they are running at loss with the old money and they also have the new money, I want to show all of you that it's not about money alone. It is about the total control. Because some of you are going to ask later. Maybe they have said that they should continue with the old notes now. Even though you can't take it to the bank, they won't take them. When you go out there to buy anything, you would have to be doing some shalaye to be able to spend your 500 naira old note. Buhari knows that. So to add to your confusion, it will likely say, yeah, okay, yeah, go on with the old notes. But if he double down, it simply means he's already achieved his aim of exposing them, one of their plan to scuttle the election for Tinubu. That means he has achieved that, exposed them. So to further double it, to further expose them, then they will nudge it further and say it is illegal. Go ahead with your riots. Call it protest, but go ahead. As you are going out there to protest or do all of that, the soldiers are also going to be ready. I have 2 circulars, okay? One for the police, one for the Nigeria military. And they came from the same source, the presidency. Do you know what is in that memo? The army and soldiers you are seeing everywhere. The riot police you are going to be seeing from tomorrow in different states, right? They are acting based on the memo sent to them. Then in that memo, the presidency told them that they should all be on alert this week and get ready to be deployed for counter operations. Counter what? To counter what? So to show you that they will be ready to help you add fuel to the fire as these guys are about to start it. So that at the end of the day, there will be no elections. Others said, no, Mayego, you are not reading it right. I strongly believe that Buhari want to, this time around, that is deploying soldiers, deploying police. He is trying to leave a legacy. The legacy that he will leave a free and fair election. And I said, and you believe that? He said, yes, I do. I don't want to judge you. I don't believe that. But it's good that you have a theory that shows that the deployment of soldiers is to scare those who are going to be used by the APC governors. There are 22 of them. And so far, so good. All of this battalion of soldiers have been seen in places like Imo State. They've arrived. They have been seen in places like Zamfara. They've arrived there. They have been seen in Nassarawa. They have been seen in Ogun State. They have been seen in every 4 corners of Lagos State. from Ojo to Festac, from Festac to Island, from Island to Lekki, from Lekki to Adeniji. They have been seen en route to Ondo State. Like I told you, if you have been watching this program from the start, Bokohari that they claim to be dumb, is now playing a chess game that those who are smart are about to be smoked out. So this week, one of the expected surprise this week is the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Part of what I think that Bokohari may pull out of his cap, of his art of tricks, is to suddenly mock the APC, Egbekegbe, that decided to back Bokohari after disobeying court orders on many occasions for years. They said for the sake of national security and national interest, Bokohari was free to disobey any court order, frivolous court order, they call them. Judgment from the legitimate courts in Nigeria were dishonored, were like nothing. So part of what I believe that Bokohari may pull before Saturday is the surprise change of mind of Bokohari's government to begin to obey court order. Also, this same week, you are likely going to see the EFCC to begin to suddenly discovering money. And this will be money associated with APC, Egbekegbe, this week. As the chaos, the confusion, and the whole thing continues, you are likely also, because I actually jotted them down for the first time, going to get the election extended. Yeah. And the moment they make an announcement to postpone the election, what I'm going to tell you is this. APC are going to lose the moment they do. But when I say lose, I will explain that to you. They are supposed to lose normally. Like they are not supposed to even be anywhere saying they want to continue with whatever Bokohari is doing. Okay? Whatever is going on, right? Bokohari has done so much. And then he has reminded you of how horrible APC, Egbekegbe, has been, and how treacherous those who parade themselves as members or leaders or whatever that has to do with APC. He has reminded you of all of that. It's over to you. However, the reactions to all of this, after the nocturnal meetings they are calling here and there, northwest, southeast, everywhere right now, the politicians, APC, PDP, and all of them, of course, they're not going to go down without a fight. And to further prove to you that it is not just about the money or the Naira, all right? They will force his hand and they will announce an extension. These are projections based on what is happening, what would happen, right? And knowing Nigeria for what Nigeria is. That will then tell you that whatever mathematics, whatever permutation, whatever anything that Tinubu and all of them plotted, the moment they announced that postponement of that election, ladies and gentlemen, it simply means the end of APC, Egbekegbe, has come. But like I said, that they won't go down without a fight. That is where the end of Nigeria will begin to cook as well. Like, will begin to come to reality. What do you mean end of Nigeria? I mean the same thing. It simply means that the hypocrisy about one Nigeria will go off the roof. Everyone that will that is going to be, that are reprobating, what's it? They say what? They say, you are, okay, it doesn't matter. Don't worry. I'm talking about those who are neither cold nor hot, especially those who are always like reactionary, those who are reading the body language or the body odor of bokohari, reprobate and approbate. I get it. Yes. Back and forth. Reprobate, approbate. Ogbeni Oyibo hard. Sure, you get me now, eh? Don't try to impress anybody. If you remember him, talk him. If you don't remember him, no mind him. No mind me. You don't mind anybody, just like me. Oh, hard go. When Bokohari do, they say, this Bokohari is a betrayer. How could you do this to Ashiwaju? Ashiwaju that. Then Bokohari will do another. Say, Bokohari, thank you so much, President Bokohari. You are the best. We trust you. You are our leader. Thank you so much. I mean, if you have been following them, you understand what I'm saying. Reprobating, approbating. Neither here nor there. The weathermen, the people that react as the weather changes, and the rest of them, right? Praising Bokohari in the morning, attacking him in the evening. All of that will come to the head this week. From my what do you call it? From my own findings, and it will further trigger or bring to reality other things I have told you. This is not prophecy. This is not. Don't take anything I tell you. Don't take them serious, okay? But just pay attention to the happenings I've told you will happen, because all of these are coming from the background of what has happened. So you could easily project what will happen. So, but if Bokohari decided not to postpone the elections, do you know what will happen? Coupled with other dramas that you are witnessing right now, the money and the rest of them, they can still do the damages with or without Bokohari's support. And I want you to pay attention to this. If they are unable to force his hand, and they go into this as planned, with or without new and old notes, they will still be able to force Tinubu to become your next president. They call it popular vote, ladies and gentlemen. I am kind of a little bit amused, or should I say amazed. I am amazed. Agbados. That a lot of you are beginning to believe that Nigeria is actually going to conduct free and fair elections. I mean, such a nice time to be alive. You would say, oh, strange times we live in. A lot of you believe that INEC in Nigeria are going to conduct free and fair elections. And that is why, when you look at the body language of Bokohari, it be like saying he won't conduct free and fair elections. Wow. I mean, I don't believe them, but don't blame me. I am speaking from experience, not from the emotional part of it. So I am therefore going to tell you my mind based on that, without ignoring your supposed facts too. INEC have no choice. People can only rig where they are popular. But let's not ignore this too, okay? Hang on. They call something popular vote in Nigeria, and that is where the most contentious states, contentious with a K, like when you talk about the Kardashians, the three Kardashians, they are so important in Nigeria election. That is where the corrupt numbers always come from. The three Kardashians, Constant K. K for the Kardashians. Kano, Kasina, Kaduna. It doesn't really matter what's going on there. It doesn't really matter if the people there are going through hell. They are the three Kardashians of the APC, Al-Qaeda People's Congress. APC, Egbe. So traditionally, what happened? Voter suppression, voter profiling, voter apathy are also a very good or potent tool that has worked for APC, Egbe for a very long time, and they've always backed this with a propaganda never seen before. A lot of people believe them, even though APC, Egbe themselves don't. And that is being threatened as we speak. You suppress people in the areas that you believe that if they should turn up. For example, when they talk about Kardashians, the voters in Kano are put at 5 million. The voters in Lagos, Western Nigeria, they are put at over 7 million. The voters in Borno, they are put at 2.3 million. The voters in Anambra, registered voters in Anambra, they are put at 2.5 million. But with propaganda, you will be worried about the voters in Borno because they always vote. Why the people in Anambra with more voters, according to INEC, they are nothing because they don't vote? It's a long time held propaganda. Some of you never paid attention to them. But a lot of people are now paying attention to them. It's adding to the worry of the establishment. And I want you to pay attention to them this week. Nigeria has 124,000 polling units as at 2019. INEC in Nigeria did abracadabra, really. I mean, they said a lot of some polling units have more voters, too many voters that a lot of people don't vote. So they redesigned the voters map, and they created more voters. polling units. So from 124,000 polling units, they jumped straight to 179,000 polling units. Well, last week they cancelled 240 of them and brought them down to somewhere around 176,000 or thereabouts. I'm not sure. So you need two people to man those places if you want to win an election. But you may not be able to provide all of them everywhere. But you need two people. So two people times 176,000 polling units. Baba, that's like a 350,000 people to start with to trust and entrust this. So all these numbers are now numbers that people now make public. These are the structures that APC, PDP talks about. So you become party agents, two people to man 176,000 polling units. And each of them given money to buy votes at every polling unit. So if you are not popular in some area, then you need INEC. How do you disenfranchise them? 2.5 million people registered to vote in Anambra. Enugu Akwa Ibom have 2.2 or 2.3 million people registered to vote. Jigawa has 2.1. But in your electoral traditional way of Nigeria, Jigawa is more important than Akwa Ibom because Akwa Ibom won't vote. You know why? When you check the data, you see how many people registered to vote in Jigawa? 2.1 million. How many voters collected their voters card in Jigawa? 2.1 million collected their voters card. How many people registered to vote in Akwa Ibom? 2.5 million people. How many people collected their voters card in Akwa Ibom? How many people are able to collect their voters card in Akwa Ibom? 800,000 people. What happened to the rest of 1.7 million? They can't find their voters card. Oh, they didn't print their voters card. Oh, they can't find their polling unit. That is how you suppress voters even before the election day. Are you following? Because there must be something that actually fits the traditional way they've made you believe Nigeria politics work. They don't vote. Don't mind them. They don't vote. They will never come out and vote. They will be playing football. You don't vote because you will never have your voter's card. They've already disenfranchised over 50% of you before the D-Day. Now, if you show up, they will buy half of you. All right? And then they will deny the rest of you from even like casting that vote. That's how you rig people. That's rigging. A systemic rigging that they want Buhari to do. So surprisingly, the numbers of voters in Nigeria have continued to drop and drop, and people are losing interest. Don't waste your time. Why are you voting? You're wasting your time. So nobody is interested. So by popular vote, Tinubu, who was working and believing that they will get at least 12 million votes conveniently written, waiting for them by the bokohari, they discovered that there is no 12 million votes anywhere, Sha. There's never any 12 million votes anywhere. In fact, the fact that the selfish man, Buhari, is not going to be part of your elections, there is no 12 million. There's no vote anywhere. If you are told that before, you better think again. Atiku is a Muslim, and they are now saying that the northern Nigeria is aligning. The north is aligning. Aligning for what? To keep the power in the northern Nigeria. Because by popular vote, a game of number, they can produce the president of Nigeria as whenever they want. But they have law. Their law says that to be the president of Nigeria, Nigeria has 36 states. So you need to win in 24 states, including the federal capital of Nigeria. And the winning they are talking about is also in phases. At first, you must target the popular vote. The popular vote is that when they had all the votes together, now who get the highest? Declare him the winner. That's popular vote. But as complex as Nigeria has been, most of the time, they've always kind of written their election before the election day. The establishment will align and they will write the whole results. But the way it works is that it's not just by popular vote. You need 2/3 of all the states in Nigeria. You need 25% of the vote cast, legal vote cast in 24 states out of 36 states, right? And the popular votes. Let me explain that to you again. Tinubu may come out and have, let's say, 10 million votes, 10 million, and only able to get 25% in 18 states in Nigeria. The polls are showing that if it is by popular vote, with voters' apathy, traditionally, people are not allowed to, they've already cut you off and all of that stuff, it's the system, which is what happened. A lot of you registered, you're not getting your voters' card, Abi. A lot of you have made transfers to go and vote somewhere else because you have moved, you are unable to find your names, Abi. All of that all the numbers will add up, by the time they do their elections. That's traditional way of rigging you out, okay? Even though you have already upset the establishment, you have already upset their base, but you are yet to prove your theory. The obedient, I'm talking to you there, right? But nevertheless, traditionally, Tinubu of APC, Egbe, cannot boast of 25% of votes in 24 states and Abuja as we speak right now. Right now, as you are watching this video, Tinubu cannot boast of one. Atiku cannot boast of one. The only person that seems to be closer, if you are following their poll, is Peter Obi. Is also not getting the 2/3 as well. But it's also a two-way thing. For the first time, the people are giving the impression that more and more people are going to come out and join the election process and they're going to vote, which then is going to beat the traditional way that people are already losing interest. They don't want to be part of it anymore. It will beat it. And if that should happen, Obi is your next president. And I agree. If you hold the election and you have a large turnout, both popular votes as well as the mandatory legal whatever, Obi will be your next president. But because we know the establishment and we don't want to get so carried away by a theory that is yet to be proven. So we go back to the popular vote and what is now keeping them, all of them, in a frustration level. And you're going to see more of that in the coming days. What am I saying? This week. You know what happened? With the suppressed way of making sure that you don't have access, you don't come out, and by popular votes, Tinubu is expected there to pull a surprise and win. Then some said, Baba, you go remove your glasses, so I have told you. You don't need to believe anything I said to you. But don't pretend that I never told you. Don't pretend that you never heard that. So that when things start falling in place, don't call me prophet. Please, just remember that all of these are right there in your face. But because some of you are not going to be comfortable with such a conversation because it's, no, it's so contrary to what you believe in. So you disagree with it. So don't take me serious, please. Don't, but just remember, I did break all this down for you. Right? So they said, but Atiku is there, the North is aligning. I said, it's the same scenario. If Atiku pull the stunt and get the popular vote of the highest number of votes based on the traditional way, voters' apathy, vote buying, plus the confusion at the ground, where it can't be like, say, Nigerians, they are caused with terrible, terrible choices when it comes to leadership. Remember that, like, you would be like, what else do people want? Why can't they just stop all this madness once? And stop. It's Nigeria, so don't go and get hypertension trying to wonder why people will do that. Traditionally, they are expected to. But untraditionally, that's when the obedience comes in. We will surprise them. We will give Obi 60 million votes, popular vote, and he will win Abuja. He will win this and that. Say, yeah, that's a good theory. If they will let you do it. I want you to do it. I want to see you do it. I want you to shock all of us. At the same time, I am reminding you of the guys you are dealing with. They will likely not raise their hand. But it seems the frustration is about to force them to raise the body and everything to fight. And this is the determinant week, you will say, I'm coming. Let me take you to Adamawa. I won't go make another cup of tea. It's part of the chat tonight. And this is Atiku doing his grand finale, the grand finale of his campaign in Adamawa. A different ball, a different vibe, a different feeling. In fact, he's been touted to be the one that will put this surprise Atiku presidency. The old drama. Let's go to Adamawa, just for the sake of a break, right? Like this broadcast, if you haven't, we are over 3,000 of us on YouTube. We are over 500 or 600 of us on Facebook. Good enough. They allowed you to stay this long, okay? Share this video, like this broadcast, and then subscribe if you haven't, okay? And if you don't want to, all right, yeah, you can take that back. I'll be back. Let's go to Adamawa. Adamawa.
My name is Dr. Habu Salihu Magaji, a Grand Patrol of NANS. Sir, with due respect, we will not waste your time. The youth, the students, office of the president is not a place where a learner can go there as a president. Atiku Abubakar, as the vice president, he has led a lot. As the vice president, he knows the history of this country. As the president, he knows each and every local government in this country. As the president, he will call all the stakeholders of 36 states with their names. Greatest Nigerian student, I am here to present the endorsement to the awaiting president, Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri of Adamawa.
Thank you very much. That is the endorsement of Nigerian students on Atiku Okowa presidency by the grace of God. Without wasting much of your time, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to listen to the golden voice of the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the former vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the next president, Atiku Abubakar.
PDP! Jama'an Adamawa, ku ansa mana PDP! PDP! Power to the people. At this occasion, at this event, I want us to remember we have recently lost two leaders of our party, the late Governor Juta and the late Air Commodore Dan Suleiman. Therefore, may I call for a minute's silence in their memory.
1 minute silence, please.
May their respective souls rest in peace. Now, the people of Adamawa State, today is the final day of our rally all over the country. I want to use this opportunity not only to address the people of Adamawa State, but the entire country. I want to thank all Nigerians from all the states of the Federation who in the last 6 months have come out to show solidarity, to show support to our great party and to myself. Let me promise Nigerians that we shall never disappoint you. If you give us your mandate, we promise to live by our promises to make sure that we have a united country, that we have a peaceful country, that we have a buoyant economy for our country, and that we have the best education for our children. And also, we devolve powers to our states and local governments with corresponding resources. These are the 5 key points that the PDP has promised to deliver. Therefore, I want to reiterate the commitments to those 5 key points. In Adamawa State, you know that this is a golden opportunity for you if you elect PDP to the presidency, if you elect PDP to continue governing the state. I don't have to tell you what I can do for Adamawa, the Northeast, and Nigeria in general. You know me, that I live by my words and by my commitment. I therefore want to appeal to you to make sure you vote for PDP from top to bottom, from bottom to the top. Don't allow yourself to be misled by any propaganda by anybody. This is where the future of our state and the country resides, in the hands of PDP. I want to appeal to you to make sure that you vote for all PDP candidates, from state assembly to the presidency. And I know you are going to do that because you have never failed us. Governor Fintri has done a wonderful job in this state. And this is a governor that you need to continue giving him your support so that he can continue advancing the progress of our state. He believes and he is passionate about education as I am. The combination of the two of us, I am sure, will make Adamawa State, particularly in the field of education, a leading light in this country. Let me therefore appeal to you to make sure that you return PDP at the state level and you vote PDP at the national level. My fellow citizens of Adamawa State, I cannot thank you enough. But you must not forget that Nigerians have been very kind to you. They elected me in 2019 to lead this party. And again, they were not disappointed. They elected me for the second time this time. I appeal to you not to disappoint the rest of Nigeria for the favor they have done to you in this state. I want to appeal to you again to make sure you go all out. From today, go all out to your local governments, to your wards, to your units, to your households. To
70 years old man. He thought you. Jesus is Lord. Jesus. He thought you. 70 years old man. He thought you. Jesus is Lord. Jesus. He thought you. 70 years old man. He thought you. Jesus is Lord.
Sorry guys, I told you that was me trying to make myself a cup of tea, and at the same time rounding up this conversation. Okay, so the purpose of this broadcast today, like somebody will say, we can it 2D, we can it 2D, we will broadcast it. What is the 2D? What is the lesson from this broadcast tonight? There are many, and I wish I could summarize them for you, but I will try. Okay, let me start it like this. The drama of APC is going to get to head this week. There will be more confusion, more scarcity, and at the same time, more pretentious pronouncement from everyone. All of these are going to point to the same thing to show if you are going to have an election or not. The confusion about the money and the rest will lead to further protests and even riots, justifying why the military are going to be everywhere. Now, if this should continue, everyone will likely want to wait for the Supreme Court to say something. But from my own projection, Buhari go talk first. 22nd of February is when the Supreme Court is expected to make a pronouncement on if your Naira is going to be legit, is going to be legal or not. But I have projected that in the game of this confusion, Buhari is likely going to just suddenly agree and say, okay, fine. The 200 Naira is the one we said will be legal until April, Abi. Okay, fine. All of them should be legal. No wahala. But remember that Emefiole said he has already mopped the money, the old money out of circulation, and they have destroyed them. Now, the problem will be, how do we now bring out the destroyed money back to you? Okay? That is when you realize that the whole fight is not about money, new money, old money. No. It is actually the uncooperative side of Buhari is not cooperating with them, handing the resources to them, letting them do what they would like to do to make sure that whether you like it or not, Tinubu will be your next president. Voter apathy, voter suppression, violence, and every other thing, right? So, to expose them, Buhari will likely come and say, okay, now them get money now, where they go give you, I no get. Emefiole, oh yeah, or put it this way, Since Buhari told them that they should release the old 200 Naira notes, how many bankers been paying you with the 200 Naira notes? How many? Did I not tell you that it's just talk? The scarcity and everything you are witnessing is intentional, and it is to spike or something like to spark a reaction like what you are witnessing now, confusion, hardship, and every other thing you are seeing, and then maybe violence, protest, and the rest of that is intentional. So even if Buhari says the 500 Naira and the 1,000 Naira old note, they are legal, a lot of you will still have them, you will laugh, you'll be happy. Then you would have to face the problem of, will your bank give them to you, or will they take them from you? They will still not be available. So politicians will need to bring them out. Do you understand? So, now if this confusion is further added, there is, there is possibility that you have the election if Buhari decided to say, oh yeah, everything continue like that. Because according to my own findings, the damages is already done. A lot of you are already like mad, right? And if you are given a chance, based on their record, you know something, right? You know something. I was telling you about voter sympathy that favors the establishment. I have been studying that myself, okay? Using the figures that are readily available, okay? Whether not free and fair election, or whether not free and fair election, or whether not, what do you call it? Now fee and fair, and fair election. It doesn't matter. What happened is that there is record that shows that for the first time, the surge in the people who decided that they are going to participate in this their election in 2023 has never been seen before. Not even in 2015. Never seen before. And you can tell it's because of disobedience, obviously. They said the numbers of those of them that have actually collected their voters card as well. I'm talking about new people who have never really voted before. Never. They said the number is so staggering that it is worrisome, that it got to a stage that they have to like do the old way, control many of them that could have access to that card. A lot of you haven't gotten your cards, and a lot of you are like still fighting and pushing, and they are not sharing them anymore. But the number of those of you who have collected that card demographically is scary. So what they are now doing is to make sure that if they can talk you out of coming or joining any election or being part of it, right, and ensure voter sympathy, you wake up on Sunday morning or Monday morning, and then Tinubu will be your president or Atifku. That's what their number says. But if all of you troop out, like they do your 1 million march, 1 million man this and that you're doing everywhere, if on your day, if they do the election and you come out like that, Obi is your next president too. Even if they have to like rig and do all of that, it will be your next president or elect. That is going to be your next president is probably another one. Maybe it's like oversaying. I'm sorry if I probably go too far saying that. I'm just using their number now. No violence, soldiers everywhere, stopping all the kabakas, the MC Oluerons, and the rest of all those party agents that will need their gala and coke with the stolen money that they want to give to them to buy your vote, right? But if a lot of you are actually out, that will become important. But it doesn't mean that they won't still do what they have to do. They will still do what they have to do. They will still get the millions. But the stat says, if the Anambra people are allowed to actually participate enough, they will cancel. You know, they usually tell you, one single vote from Kano, we cancel all the 5 states in eastern Nigeria. It's propaganda. Yeah, it's political propaganda. There is no number that will back that up. No number. Ordinary vote from Lagos, we cancel every vote from all the eastern Nigeria. It's also political propaganda. No number back that up. No numbers. The real number shows that if they do it traditionally, of course, they will cancel you out because they will do that systemically. But if all of you can't decide to be like, do your shege like you normally brag about on social media on Saturday, soldiers everywhere, nobody intimidating you, about ticket APC Makot, so it's the ticket of Atifku. Somebody said, why don't you talk about Showore? Baba, I am using the numbers that are available. Showore doesn't have that number. Doesn't mean that Showore is not better in any way. Yeah, we know. But what is the truth? It doesn't have the number that these guys have. But it's because people are not talking about. Is that what you want to start now? Is that what you want to start now? that we should start finding the reasons why the numbers are not backing Showore, one of the best, you say. Abi? Should we start talking about that now? So the number doesn't back him. Even Kwakwanso, the red cap man, who has shown few places where he's had his people here and there, the number is not backing him. But somehow, the number put his name in the basket. So that is what we are talking about. Anyway, I just thought I should use the political platform to tell you the politics that they said is complicated. Nigerian politics is not complicated. It is trickery and it is fraudulent. Anything that is fraudulent will become unclear. Anything, and they will become suspicious. No, sorry. Superstitious, not suspicious. Superstitious. So people can make up things in order to cover up their ignorance of it. It is not complicated, though. It is fraudulent, corrupt. And if you understand that from the word go, you will understand, you will see clearly all that is happening in their system. And at the same time, you will be able to handle yourself better. I mean, when I say handle yourself, you never get any emotional attachment. It will be hard. How are they going to pull it off? Get you emotionally attached to people that you know are clowning, only to end up leading a country, and then put you back to where you belong to, right? Now, their prophecies and their projection and the rest of them, in my own book, is still almost the same. They say 24 hours is a long time in politics. I agree. And that is why I said, look out this week. More attacks, more people will be targeted, more people will be killed. I mean, sorry, don't let me use the word kill, but they will kill people if they have to get what they want. And finally, I said, when the pressure gets enough, as mad as Buhari is, even after agreeing that they should let the money continue, for you to continue to spend that money, it's going to leave you at the liberty of the same criminal governors and politicians. Let them give you the money now. Yes, it's going to do that. Then, the 2D of the whole conversation is that if everything that happened this week, and the Supreme Court comes out and say, they should remain legal, to add to your confusion, right? They may end up having to postpone the election. You're going to see that this week. If they are going to postpone your election or not. If they hold your election this Saturday. Or if they won't. By Sunday, Monday, you may not have a new president. You may actually have a revolution underway. Yeah, you heard me. Yeah, you heard me. These guys, they will bring down the entire house. If that is what it's going to cost them, right? To keep that power. And from all we have heard, from all, intention and what have you, it is not advisable to invest your emotions. So I will wish you all the best. Wish you what you wish yourselves. And this week, I promise you, you will never miss any episode of Mayegun's Diary Political, because everything that will happen this week are going to be the pointers to what you're going to point at in this no distant future. And guess what? All of the actors involved are possibly going to be alive then and become new people trying to say different things again. But trust me, I don't see whether now flee and fear, or free and fear, or no election at all, but enough chaos ahead of it. But if they ever get to postpone the elections, which is likely, then you can be rest assured that Buhari has finalized the barrier of APC, Egbekegbe, and everything that has to do with APC. Egbekegbe. Sorry if that sounds so far-fetched, impossible. Of course. Remember your bias. How could you even accept that? After spending months believing that Kolu is a kingmaker, he is unstoppable. So how could you believe what I'm saying? Of course you won't. Nah, until it happens, Abi.
How could you say Atiku is not going to win? What are you saying? Do you even know what you are talking about? Of course, I understand where your own bias is coming from too. Mayegun, you cannot sit down abroad and think you know everything that is going on here. Obi will beat all of them before noon. I am not doubting you. I'm just telling you to pay attention to what is going on around you. In case, if all that all of you are wishing are just nightmares, not real, how do you think it's going to be like if you have to come to that reality? You've not thought about that, have you? No, you haven't. There is another one. A lot of you are hanging up, telling yourself, bragging and here and there, holding yourselves in the jugular, trying to suffocate yourself for all these guys over an election that you have no control over. Yeah, you don't. Of course you don't. Then I said, it is one we say, Ashwaju is going to be our next president. Everybody, we no one make them go transformer. Okay. Atiku is the next president. Nobody can stop him. He's going to be the... Okay, fine. Obi is going to defeat all of them. Okay, fine, good, great. All sounds good. I wish you what you wish yourselves. Okay. But do you have plan B? If one of them will have to be, if there is an election, right? One of them will have to be your next elected president, Abi. So if Tinubu fail, do you have plan B? If Atiku could fail and Tinubu is your president, do you have plan B? And all of you Lagos, Abobaku, Oshogbo, Alimajiri, Buhari, Dins, Buhari, Diderens, Buhari, Diotside, Barbarians, and all your clannish and all, what have you? What if Tinubu loses? Do you have another plan? And they say Obi is your next president, elect. What are you going to do? Don't worry yourself. Don't bother yourself of anything, okay? Bokohari, a lot of people died trying to stop you from giving power to Bokohari and gang. They died inside them. A lot became alien to Nigeria. They don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria anymore. But what happened? Bokohari is president, is almost rounding up. But a lot of you didn't have plan B. When you are shouting change, change, next devil, holding your fingers like this everywhere. A lot of you didn't have plan B. And you are living in that regret now. Obi, Atiku, Kwekwanso, Tinubu, and the rest of them. As attached as you are to them. This one is just like a free, I don't know. It doesn't really matter if you answer or not, okay? In fact, it doesn't really matter if you say anything at all, right? I'll let you go. I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me this evening, okay? You can still like my video, and if you don't like what I've said so far, and you've subscribed, you can take that back, and then you can just search for me tomorrow and see if I'm live again, all right? But if you don't want to do all that, right, yeah, you need to subscribe, set your notification on, and then like the video, so that when I come on next, you won't miss it. I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be everyday mental song. To go to this, what do you call it? To go to this Armageddon. Nobody's going to go into it blindfolded. Don't get blindfolded. Though. Open your eyes loud. Open your eyes this wide. So that you don't turn around and begin to ask questions. How did we get here? Hey, my people, how did we get here? Baba? That's the journey towards it. So, yeah, I'll see you some other time. And good night, Udaro.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one.
àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà one.
bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà one.
ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà one.
Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà one.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà one.
àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà one.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.